Hello. Um, okay. So, welcome to my website. This is my website. It's mayaontheinter.net. I make a lot of software-based work that lives in the browser, but a secret about my work is that it's really important. I think it's important that you always check the console. The console is where I like to leave a lot of secret notes and logs. So I have a secret note channel on my website. And I left this here for me today, but anyone can leave a note if you want. So a lot of my work takes place in the browser, so I thought it would be appropriate to do this artist talk in the browser. So we're going to take the browser for a walk together. And you're getting now a little preview of everything that you're going to see. But my name is Maya Mann. I'm based in New York City, and a lot of my work is focused on the performance of identity on the internet, and how we produce and consume content online. And I'm also very specifically interested in language and how that operates as a vehicle for identity. So this presentation is called Chance Encounters, and I'm going to start with some website readings. Maya, are you in the room? Maya, why did you sleep at Google? Maya, it can be hard to tell. OMG, I'm watching Maya's Hong Kong video right now. We need a reunion. But yeah, Maya, you got it. This feels Maya-core for whatever reason. I just love you so much, Maya. Not sure what to do about it. Congrats, Maya. You're amazing. He's gonna hook up with her this weekend. I can't watch, Maya. Maya, I think the text is fine. Nicely worded. Should I have more structure to what I'm writing here? Viewing and evaluating the internet as chiefly an aesthetic object, how aesthetically pleasing, beautiful, or cute something is displayed/presented is what unifies them. No more self-pity, no more laziness, and no more giving up. Anything less than my best is no longer acceptable. I put 4 dresses in my cart as a strictly theoretical exercise and let the page expire. Nothing I do is fake. Everything I do is wrong. Nothing I do is right. Everything I do is wrong. Everything I do is real. Nothing I do is fake. Nothing I do is fake. Nothing I do is right. Everything I do is right. Bright, lightweight, romantic, silver-toned, special. She's stunning, but best of all, get personality rocks. She seems like such a cool chick that you could hang out with that isn't fake. Oh, blush. Ballet flats with bow accent. Ballet flats. Red flats. Red, size 7.5, EUC, or possibly new without tie. I can shift. I am prepared to shift. I can shift realities easily. I know I will shift to my desired reality. I know I have the power to shift. I will wake up in my desired reality. I have shifted realities. I know I have shifted realities. I can shift realities with ease. I'm going to go to my desired reality. I'm in my ideal reality. Realistic. The concept of being realistic online is something that I'm really invested in my work and in my life. This comes up in my piece, which is a commission from the Whitney Museum of American Art for their new program On the Hour, which has an internet art project run for 30 seconds on the hour 24 times a day. It's currently live on whitney.org. But when I started thinking about this commission, I was really thinking about time, because I knew that this piece would run 24 times a day, exactly on the hour. And I started thinking about how people document one single day online. And so then I started thinking a lot about the realistic day in my life videos. And I started watching a lot of them. A realistic day in my life as a college student in New York City. Realistic day in the life as a designer living in New York City. Realistic day in the life of an ad agency owner and college student living in New York City. A very realistic day at FIT NYC. Welcome to a realistic day in the life, New York City. A realistic day in the life as a 26-year-old who works in sales in New York City. A very, very realistic day in my life as a fashion student in New York. A realistic day alone in New York City. Realistic day in the life of a designer living in New York City. Another realistic day in my life living in New York City. Day in the life of a realistic NYC mom. How much are eggs in NYC right now? My realistic day in NYC. A realistic week in the life of a 26-year-old man living in New York City. A realistic day in the life of my 9-to-5 sales role in New York City. A realistic day in the life of an NYC actor. Day in the life as an NYC nanny, realistically. Realistic day in the life in New York City. Day in the life of an investment banker in New York City, unglamorized version. So I started watching all of these, and I started collecting examples of when someone would say an exact time of day when they were doing their day in my life voiceover, or when they were speaking to the camera, but it had to be an exact time of day. I watched hundreds of them in order to create a library of times for all 24 hours of the day. So when you're on the Whitney Museum's website, exactly on the hour, you will see the piece run, whatever page that you're on, it comes on and says what someone was doing at that time in a day in my life video like this. I did a couple more hours of work until my 3 p.m. snack break and caffeine break. This is followed by a stream of animated comments that are all pulled from Day in My Life TikTok videos. Absolutely, your daily vlogs are my favorite. Do you like that new tequila flavor? Loving a supportive girl. Bod goals. I miss the city. And there's many different times for each time of day, so if you refresh, it's random, so sometimes it doubles. I don't know who told me to get out of bed at 3 p.m. No one. So depending on the time of day, you'll see something different, and even if you watch the piece over at the same time, you'll see something different, followed by a generated stream of comments. And I've always really aspired to feel like I'm being real, both in my lived physical life and the way that I engage with the internet. And that's what initially inspired the earliest work that I still talk about, which is called GlanceBack. GlanceBack is a browser extension that when you have it installed once a day at random, it takes a photo of you really quickly, and you type in what you're thinking about, and then you get to kind of have this log. So it goes like this. You type in what you're thinking about, then you have this log of you just staring at your computer, no expression on your face, for me, usually, because that's how I am. And then, then you start to amass this archive of photos of you looking at your machine. And I started this project because I was really haunted by the way that people were talking about authenticity online, and I wanted to represent myself in a way that really felt real. But ultimately, what I realized is that this doesn't feel like a more realistic version of me. It actually just feels like another angle of myself, because when I take a glance back, I'm still performing in some way. But I built this initially in 2018, and I've been using it now for every day since then that I'm on my computer. As you can see, I have this very excessive archive of almost 2,000 photos now of me going through many different phases of my life. I'm sure you can tell, all the way until we skip ahead, later years. But this has become really special to me because it's become not only an archive for myself, but it's also an archive for other people. So currently GlanceBack has, I think, 8,000 people who use it every day. And so I started to think about it as this really networked performance of everyone taking these photos together. But in contrast to this idea of being real online, of course, the opposite is being fake. And this idea of being fake comes in again in the title of a generative work of mine called Fake It Till You Make It, which is a generative JavaScript-based collection of outputs from an algorithm I wrote that are meant to look like graphics like this. I'm sure you're familiar, early 2020s, these types of graphics on Instagram. Here are the real ones. like this. They are focused on self-help and confidence and wellness, and I was really fascinated by them as a genre of media object in the early 2020s. And so I wrote this algorithm, this is live generating, to kind of mimic their tone, but it's actually collaging together language. So you are getting that same chirpy tone that a lot of the graphics have, and I'm mimicking the aesthetic that kind of unifies them, but at the same time, they often sound a bit strange, which I'm sure you can tell just looking at these. And when I install the work, I like to have the code running live, and this is a projection on Canvas. And it's important to me because when these graphics are live generated, it's highly unlikely that you will ever see the same one that's generated twice. And when I realized making this project, I kind of started making the project and I was feeling a bit cynical. It's like, these graphics are like these bite-sized prayers and people are lacking meaning in their lives, and these are kind of serving this auxiliary purpose. But actually making the project, what I realized is I found that a lot of what was generated, I found to be pretty meaningful and often relevant to my own life. So it really softened my relationship with this genre of Instagram graphic. And at Heavy Manor's Library in Los Angeles, in Echo Park, I had a release for the book version of Fake It Till You Make It. It looks like this. And I'm really interested in mass-produced objects and text on mass-produced objects, so I created a gift shop installation, which had outputs from Fake It Till You Make It, printed on teddy bears, shot glasses, keychains, that type of thing. And again, thinking about this idea of fake, of course, now it really affects the language that we're using to talk about artificial intelligence. And the very first project that I did with an AI model was with a collaboration with Anne Hirsch, and this project came out in early 2022. It's called Ugly Bitches, and it is a collection of GAN-generated doll images. We basically collected over 1,000 images of doll product photos, so like Barbies, Cabbage Patch Kids, Bratz, all of those. And then we built a GAN to kind of generate these dolls that looked like warped and fucked up and dead in the eyes a bit, and we really liked that. And so then we created these images that each one features one doll, and each doll is paired with a comment that's found from a influencer's Instagram comment section, like Kylie Jenner or Addison Rae or something. But we changed all of the complementary adjectives to ugly, and all of the words like woman or babe often to bitch. So the project is called Ugly Bitches. And I'll just play you the trailer from it. It's not actually Since the first little girl ever existed, there have been dolls. But dolls always suffer about being dolls. Thank you. We started making this project before the Barbie movie was announced and coming out, but then it was very serendipitous that the trailer came out around the same time we were working on this piece. But it's really interesting for me to look at the way that these GAN-generated dolls look to me, because initially when GANs were, a popular image generation tool, an artificial intelligence image generation tool, they look like this, are very gooey and warped. And in general, in a lot of my work, I like to take something that exists and then make something that approximates that thing through a different method, but is a little bit twisted. And I wasn't that enticed really by AI until kind of the current state of diffusion models, until things started looking a lot more realistic, a lot closer to reality. And that's when I started thinking a lot about the word reality, which I've been thinking about a lot for a long time, but specifically about reality television. And so I started thinking back to a show that I watched a lot growing up, which is called Dance Moms. Are you familiar with it? I'm just going to play you some of the trailer to just give you a sense of the energy of the show.
Your mother is not your coach. I am the coach. Your mother doesn't know what to do. If she did, she wouldn't be here. You understand that? This is where it all starts. We are preparing for the national competition. Moms come from all over to bring their children to me. I can make you or I can break you. They want to be a part of the Avenue Dance Company. What if she fell 13 stories down and died? Huh?
Stop crying, it's making it worse.
I can't stand her. Go ask your 9-year-old if she likes what she's wearing.
I'm the mother. I'm an adult.
Act like one.
I need to go home. Nobody lives here. How many times has my daughter beat your wife? Melissa's sneaky and she lies. Christy is just jealous of me and my daughter. I think they're both crazy.
I'm the teacher, I'm the mentor, I'm the professional.
If Phoebe comes to me and says that she wants to play softball, I'll probably slit my wrist.
Okay, so I used to watch that a lot when it came out in 2011, and I started rewatching it, and I started collecting a lot of screenshots from Dance Moms. This is my arena channel. I have almost 1,000. Very jarring to rewatch the show, but you can kind of see what it looks like. The episodes are very formulaic, it's quite repetitive, but it's especially enticing to me because I grew up as a dancer, and I grew up specifically as a competition dancer in Pennsylvania, which is where Dance Moms takes place. And when I was rewatching the show, in the second episode of Dance Moms, I see girls from my dance company at the same dance competition. So it's very close to home for me. And when I did dance all through high school, and I was very embedded in this universe. This is me at a dance competition called StarQuest, way back in Pennsylvania. But this, to me, became this, when I started thinking about it, and I moved away from doing a lot of dance-related work in my own work, but a lot of my work is about performance. And as I started rewatching Dance Moms, I realized that I think this is where I became very obsessed with this idea of performance and the feeling of being on stage, which I feel like has haunted me for my entire life, even when I'm not on stage. And I became really interested in revisiting it. And for me, using AI video tools became a very apt way to think about the show. So this is just a really short 1-minute clip of a new work that I'm working on. I haven't shown it before, but it will be released later this fall. There'll be an exhibition at the Gallery Soot later this season in Los Angeles. So if you're here, please come by. And there will also be an online exhibition and presentation with Feral File in New York City in November. So I'll just play you a 1-minute excerpt.
Everyone really expects me to win a crown for this solo, so it's a lot of pressure. It's crashing down on your echoing heart. Whatever we get, be happy. And don't be mad at anybody. Okay? You moved on in so much time. Are you going to get out there and choke? Are you going to be average? Or are you going to be exceptional? Exceptional. I just had another dream.
Here is our title winner for Junior Miss StarQuest. We would like to crown her now.
I think I just got nervous before I went on stage. I just kind of freaked myself out.
That's a very, very short excerpt. The girls in this piece will go to a dance studio that I've invented called Shimmer Dance Studio, and I made an Instagram. It has 6 followers. You can follow if you want. There'll be more content. But in general, in all of my work, in all of these websites that you made, they're all running software that I've written myself. I'm really interested in the process of chance and how Chance operates in the process of working with software, and Chance, for me, doing this AI video-based work has operated in a really, really different way than working with software because it's very black box, it's very indirect, but that thread is really important in everything that I do, and I think I've realized, making the Dance Moms really good piece, that I've really started to see myself kind of as the coach figure who is prompting these girls to perform in a very specific way throughout the whole work. And yeah, so you'll be hearing more about that soon, but thank you for having me.